what you got. Oh, I can't see tomorrow. Gotta live, try to get a little wiggle room, the rest don't stop. Quid pro quo, I need the best y'all got. Tryna make a dollar, flip it like it's vinyl. Tryna make a way. What's it worth to you if the price too high? Quid pro quo, I need the best y'all got. Give me your best. Don't say nothing less, cause I'm giving you 100. How you always leaving me with nothing? I'm not impressed. It's gonna take more than this, cause I'm giving you 100. And I don't even know if I can trust you for nothing.
Well, good morning, and welcome to Friday, y'all. I'm going to have to do this without AirPods. My AirPods apparently were on the charger all night long, but did not charge. So I am hoping that you guys hear me well and hear me okay. I don't have a microphone back up. This is going to be a lesson moving forward that I'm going to bring an entire suite of tools here to make sure that I can talk to you guys, and we'll have a microphone, and we're going to have a tripod and light and the whole thing to make sure that we do this the right way. So that's my bad, y'all. Good morning, Jessica. Welcome to Friday. Welcome to, can you believe this, y'all? It is the last day of March. Can you believe that? We're the last day of March. I swear I'm going to be 57 before in a couple of weeks. This is unbelievable how fast the first quarter of this year has gone. Maybe it's just because we've had our head down for so long, trying to get through this change and grind through this transition, and make a spot here to get us rolling in the other direction, that I've just kind of lost track of what it is or what it was or where we are. But it seems almost ridiculous that it's March the 31st. But here we are anyway. Good morning, Jessica. Thank you very much for that feedback. We'll wait a little bit for folks to get here. Jessica, how was your day yesterday? I hope you had a good day yesterday. Was it productive? I hope. Good morning, Lynn. I'm going to take that energy with me today there, Jessica. Kipton played an amazing round of golf. That's awesome. I'm planning on having an amazing round of golf today as well. I'm looking forward to it. Good morning, Vanessa. You're slacking. You got to get up earlier, girl. Anne-Marie, good morning. Good morning to everybody on Facebook Live, everybody, Agent, everybody that's on the Nation page. Good morning to you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Vanessa. Everybody pray for Vanessa. She's got a child battling strep. Y'all pray for them. Well, let's just get going. Let's get rolling, because we've got to, I'm sure other people will be jumping in here as we get rolling. I'm all discombobulated this morning because I typically have my iPad on this side, on my left side, so I can look this way and look at y'all. But today it's on my right side, so I can see the comments and see who all is coming in from other spots. So if you guys will just forgive me as my C personality jumps out this morning as I try to get everything figured out. You can hear me kind of battling my C, battling the way I always do it in my routine. I'm sort of fighting that this morning. But welcome, last morning from Cabo. I was going to try to go downstairs and good morning, Cynthia. Go downstairs, and I figured I'd just stay here. I want to get going, so let's get rocking. Let's just get rocking and rolling, because I think there's a lot to unpack today. I hope I can be succinct enough and stay on track enough to give you what I believe is on my heart, what happened yesterday, kind of the wrap up to day 3, kind of where I believe we are, where I am as a human being, where Christy is a human, where we are as a business together, where we are as leaders for you guys, where we are moving forward in the next little bit. I'm hoping I can unpack this and share what I want to share. Y'all, have you ever had an espresso, like a Nespresso machine espresso? This is actually pretty fantastic. I may have to get one of these at the house. It's pretty good. We had this. I had them in Puerto Rico, and they've got them here. And I like these espresso machines; they're pretty decent. Let's get rolling. My name is Aaron Dwyer. My wife, Christy Dwyer, and I formed a company called Exit Realty Lake Country, and we formed it on the premise that our role and our job and our responsibility was to help each individual agent that we came in contact with, help them become the best versions of themselves, because we know that by becoming the best version of ourselves, we become more confident, we become stronger, and in fact, we become better real estate agents. And we know right now, if the world needs anything, it needs a really strong real estate agent in this market. But our job is to help, and our role and our responsibility was to help people be the best versions of themselves. And so every morning, 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern, we get on these calls and we share a little bit of love, a little bit of laugh, some motivation, some things that we've learned, some things that are going on in an attempt to help our agents have a great morning. And if we can help our agents have a great morning, if we can become part of a morning routine that helps our agents get off to a good start, then we know that we've got a really good shot of helping them have a great day. And if we can have enough great days together, we can create a pretty fantastic life. So welcome. The drill is, if you're up with us this morning and you're either on the Nation page, you're on YouTube Live, you're on the Leader's Nest, or you're here with us on, well, you wouldn't be here because I know the ones that are here. Please just say your good morning and give me your name so that we know you're here live with us this morning. And let's just get rolling, man. Let's get rocking and rolling on this thing. And I'm pretty excited about where I'm at this morning. I'm pretty excited about where, and not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, I'm excited. I'm excited about where we are as a company, in spite of what you maybe see on the outside, despite of maybe some of the challenges some of you guys are feeling as we transition to this next spot. I can assure you, and I promise you, and it's being revealed over and over and over and over and over again, because I'm in this mode where I'm looking for everything. I'm looking to the nth degree, the most minute detail of every single thing, and just getting confirmation on every single piece. And yesterday seemed to be just a day of confirmation, just a day where you were looking for that, well, you got it. Well, you were looking for this, well, you have it. Well, you wanted this, and there it is. And so I'm going to share some of that with you, because I want you to think about this just from, and maybe from our perspective, maybe from Aaron and Christy's perspective. I want to share with you a couple of things, and I want to dive into sort of the meat of what I want to talk about. So most of our agents, if you're on here this morning and you're an agent of the collective, you're an agent, you're a real estate agent that was formerly known as Exit Realty Lake Country, now known as the collective. If you were in that organization, and you know that for a long time we had this iPhone chat, right? We had this Apple iPhone chat, but we were limited with the chat because there were only so many iPhones we could add to the group chat. And y'all know we all love group chats. Well, at least some of us in our company love group chats. She happens to be in there laying in the bed. But I'm coming to find out that group chats are actually a thing, and I've got to wake up and stop being so antisocial. I'm just playing. I don't mind group chats. But we had this group chat, right? We had this iPhone group chat. The running joke was everybody was excited when somebody left the company, because we would take them off the group chat, which would open up the group chat to somebody else. Well, then you got in the group chat and you got to experience all the fun of the group chat. Well, we had been for the better part of a year trying to figure out another option. I was saying, let's use Ring Central. Let's use the chat feature in Ring Central. We've been talking about that for 2 years. Let's use the chat feature in Ring Central and this and that and the other thing. But we all love gifts, and we all like being smart up butts and sending gifts and pictures and things like that. As a matter of fact, then Exit came up with an option, and we had a chat feature through Exit. And Christy's big thing was, well, let's send gifts, and we've been trying to integrate that chat feature, and that just kind of fell over. Then we used there was another chat app we used for a little bit. That kind of went over like a poop in a punch bowl. Wasn't very good. But now we are aligning ourselves with a company who's got one of the most powerful chats I've ever seen. That the entire company revolves around this chat, and you literally are a text message chat away from anybody in the company that you want to talk to. And this workplace chat option that you have now it's an app on your phone. It's on your computer. It should be open all the time when you start your day and you start your work day. that workplace chat app should be open. And now we have this feature that we've been looking for the better part of a year, maybe longer than a year. We now have this feature given to us as part of the suite of tools that we have as we move and transition into this new area. For so long, I've been saying in our old life that I really wish we would have a luxury brand. I really wish we would have a luxury focus. I wish there was a luxury arm to what we're doing, because it feels like we just don't have my niche. My real estate niche is luxury lakefront golf course. That's my luxury. That's my niche. That's how I built my business. That's what I sort of revolved my business around, what I set my target on. Again, I told you the story. I had a guy, even when I wasn't in real estate, and I was working for another guy, and he said, "Hey, look," he said, "how much I sold the biggest one sale in the history of the company. When I finally got it closed and got my commission check, the CEO owner of the company came in and personally handed me my check, and he said, 'So how does that feel?' And I said, 'Feels pretty good.' And he said, 'Well, let me ask you a question. How much longer did it take? How much more effort did it take to sell $2 million worth of stuff? Did it take any longer or take any more effort to sell $2 million than it did 10,000? And I said, 'Well, no, not really.' And he said, 'Well, then maybe you ought to set your sights differently. Maybe you ought to focus differently on what you're looking at. Maybe this new ceiling that you had ought to be your new floor.' And so when I got in the real estate business, I thought it was silly if I could go sell a $100,000 house and make $3,000, or I could go sell $1 million house and make a lot more money. So I set my targets differently, but that was my niche. That was my thing. Well, in our old life and what we did previously, there wasn't one. There were attempts, and here recently there's been a fledgling attempt to create something, but it's just been kind of you know what I'm saying? It's just not worked. Walk into this company yesterday, we got introduced to the new luxury division of this particular organization that we are aligning ourselves with, that I can't name yet for legal and copyright reasons. I'm teasing about the copyright, not about the legal. They have a luxury division, and they have an amazing luxury division. Matter of fact, they are the only global luxury division, global luxury brand. How do they say this? We're the only virtual global luxury brand on the planet in 25 countries. Okay. So here's where I need you to think. Again, let me go back to my point I was making. And it goes around, look at the stroller on the bottom. What you are seeking is seeking you. What you are looking for is looking for you. What you truly have in your heart and set your intentions on is exactly what you're going to find. It's been repeated over the last 3 days over and over and over again through different people, through different situations and different stories. What you set your mind on is what your target is what you're going to achieve. And you hear me say this all the time, and I'll say it again because I believe it's worth repeating. To have the things you've never had, you've got to do the things you've never done. If you want to continue in the same cycle, the same Groundhog Day, if you want to wake up and hit the alarm clock the same way every day, if you want to wake up uninspired, if you want to wake up with nothing really to chase after, if you just want to wake up and go through your days, y'all, time's not going to wait on you to get your shit together. I almost said a bad word. Time is not going to stop and wait on you to get your ish together. You got to own your stuff, get it together now, because time's not stopping. It is March the 31st. It was January 1st 2 days ago. And it is March 31st. We are through the first quarter of the year. There's some alarming statistics that are coming out from the National Association of Realtors. There are some alarming statistics coming out from different places about what this real estate market is going to look like. But I want to give you a little bit of insight. And I'm going to give those of you who are watching who maybe aren't in the real estate business, who are wondering about the real estate market. You come on this show just to learn about the real estate market, or you're just nosy or whatever. I want to share with you a little bit about this market. I want to share a little bit about what's going on right now in this market, because it's important for you to understand that this is normal. Okay. What you are seeking is seeking you. What you set your mind on, you will achieve. What you set your belief system on, what you tether your beliefs to is what will happen in your life. And so for some of us, because or some of you, because you're new in this business, you're looking for some secret sauce. You're looking for some secret button. You're looking for something to happen to give you an up, to give you a whatever. And I'm here to tell you that's not the way you want to build your business. You want to build your business on doing the right things the right way all the time. You want to build your business on doing what needs to be done when it needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Because guess what? It's easy to do what you want to do when you feel like doing it. It's easy to do what you want to do when you feel like doing it. But that's not where champions are made. That's not where great businesses are born. That's not how you get to do things you don't get to do right now. Because to do things differently, to have things differently, to have different experiences, y'all. I had one of the, and so let's do this. And I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to go to where I want to go. I had one of the coolest dinner experiences I've ever had in my entire life last night. Me and Christy and Ken Jocelyn went to dinner last night at a restaurant that's across the street from the hotel. You got to walk out of the gates, go across the street, and go to this restaurant. We've been smelling it every day. When we come back into our room, we smell it every single day. We're like, man, we've got to go eat at this place before we leave. Didn't know what it was. Didn't look at it. Just said, hey, it smells delicious. We have to go get us some of that. So the place is called Chambao, Schambao. And I will tell you the vibe in this place, the music, the ambiance, the lighting, the people, it's one of those restaurants where the waiters wear leather aprons. I mean, it is just, Brent Gove said, man, this place is bougie, isn't it? Because he was at dinner with there were so many groups of people there eating dinner last night. So apparently we were in the right spot. We were there with all the movers and shakers, unbeknownst to us. So maybe we're on the way to being a mover and a shaker. Who knows? But we were in this restaurant, and they actually they had models. It's a little clothing store, a little boutique there, and they would run models out through the restaurant the music would come up and everybody start clapping and it was just a vibe and just kind of I got chills talking about this, but it was just like the music was super fantastic and so they start walking all the models through and then they bring the food out, this big huge presentation, and the tiger shrimp was like this long and there's giant snow crab legs and they're showing you this tomahawk steak was like 4 feet long that everybody could share. They bring it to your table and they set it on fire and the whole restaurant dances while you set it on fire. I mean, it was the craziest thing ever. I've never been to anything like that before. They had girls on those the fabric that they do all the, like, it wasn't pole dancing, but the fabric that hangs down and they wrap themselves up like the gymnasts that do all the gymnastics and the scarf and the cloth and I don't even know what it's called. But they had 3 girls over a creek. There was actually a running body of water on the side of this restaurant. They had these things overhanging the water, and these 3 girls would get up there and flip around and do all the stuff on their cloth things, and the music would play loud and it would get louder and louder and louder. And it was an experience that I've never had. My point of mentioning it is I would have never experienced that particular situation. I've never would have experienced dinner at that restaurant. I've had steaks before, and I've had Brussels sprouts before, and I've had asparagus before, and I've had bread before, and I've done all these things before, but just not in that situation, not in that environment, not in that ambiance. I didn't get that vibe anywhere else that I've ever been to in my life in a restaurant. And so for me to experience that, it took me to be in Cabo. It took me to walk across the street, because I very well could have stayed at the hotel and stayed inside the gates and eaten at one of the places that were all inclusive at the hotel. But instead we stepped out of our comfort zone. We stepped out of the gate of the hotel, and we walked across a street and walked to a restaurant that we really didn't know anything about, and ended up finding this amazing restaurant where we had an amazing meal with an amazing person. Brent Gove came and said, hey, there were a couple of the people we talked to, and it just had an amazing night and made amazing memories, and something I'm never gonna forget. But it took me stepping out of what I knew walk through a gate to the unknown to go experience that. And a lot of us are doing that right now. And the title of this morning was, it's time to reach in. It's time to reach in into that unknown, into that thing that you've not reached into for so long. It's time to reach in and find who you really are. It's time to reach in and dig in and find that thing that you've been so passionate about, that thing that you even that thing that you've been putting away for so long because you've been afraid that if you reveal it to the world, somebody's going to make fun of you. You're afraid if you reveal it to the world, somebody's going to discredit your want or your dream, or you think that if you reveal it to the world that somebody's going to make fun of you, and so you don't reach in to dig it out. And I'm imploring you through, and I believe this is a time in our lives. Good morning, Casey. This is a time in our lives where God is asking us to reach in. Where we're being challenged to walk out of the gates of the known. You're being challenged to walk out of your comfort zone. You're being challenged to stop being comfortable. Because the land of milk and honey, the promised land, is not in slavery. The land of milk and honey and the promised land is not in bondage. The thing that you want in your dream and desire is not in the land of comfort. And we've been talking so many different ways, and it was reiterated again yesterday. It was said again yesterday. I'm gonna say this to you again, that we've got to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. We have to get super, super comfortable with the uncomfortable. We've got to get super, super confident in walking through gates into unknown places. We've got to get super, super confident into walking past our fears, walking past the comfort, walking past what we've always known or what we've always had or what we've always believed about ourselves. Because I believe this is a time, and this transition, what's being asked of us is to reach down, to reach in, to go inside our belief systems, go inside our spirits, go inside to our deepest, darkest regions of ourselves and shine light on our dreams and desires. It's time for us to reach out in love. It's time for us to reach out in confidence. It's time for us to reach out in strength to the people that need us. It's time to reach in and time to reach out. The reason I'm mentioning this, y'all, good morning, Mags, is because I missed the day. I missed the day. I slept over. My alarm didn't go off, so we missed the day. Number 31. Yeah, we missed day 31 of Grant Cardone's 32 Things That Successful People Do. The number 31 was reaching up. Number 31 was also my football number in high school, which I thought was pretty cool. I was really looking forward to that day, but then I ended up missing it. So he said successful people reach up. Number 31 was successful people reach up. They reach up. They reach up in their relationships. They reach up in their knowledge. They reach up in their learning. They go find people who are doing it better than they're doing it. They go find situations that are improvements to what they're in right now. They walk across the street to a restaurant and are in a restaurant with a bunch of y'all. And I'm not joking. This wasn't on purpose, and we didn't even know this. This was just something me and Christy decided we were going to go do. Ken was going to go eat with us, so we decided we were going to do that. And we ended up walking in, and legit, like everybody that was somebody at this event was in that restaurant at that time. And I'm going to share something with you this morning because I think I sent a message last night late. You may have not seen it. It wasn't late for me here, but it's late for y'all there. But we have a guest that's going to come on next Thursday. His name is Bill Pipes. Bill Pipes, if you've ever heard of Bill Pipes, he is a real estate coach. He is I'd probably say in the top 6 or 7, top 10 for sure, maybe top 5 real estate coaches in the market, in the space. He's one of the best. He learned under Tom Ferry. He was one of Tom Ferry's guys for so long and learned a lot of Tom Ferry stuff. You can kind of hear some of Tom Ferry's cadence in Bill Pipes' messaging and what he says and sort of his and how he delivers. You can hear Tom Ferry in that. Bill Pipes knows a lot of folks and does a lot of cool things. And he was here yesterday in this training, and Brent Gove's guy, Drew Johnston, introduced me to Bill. He said, "Hey, you want to meet Bill?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I've seen Bill Pipes content, and I've watched Bill Pipes on some things, and he does a really good job, but it just wasn't something that really, I don't know. I just never really dove into it because, again, I got a big ego sometimes, and my ego sort of gets in the way of my brain, and my ego gets in the way of my heart. If I'm being real honest with you, probably my ego got in the way of me hearing much from Bill. Good morning, Anna Davis. But so Drew Johnston, during the session, before Bill Pipes went on yesterday, on day 3, he introduced me to Bill Pipes. If you don't know who Bill Pipes is, look for Coach Pipes on Instagram. Go ahead and follow him. See some of the content that he puts out there, because I think you're going to be super, super impressed with that. But Drew Johnston introduced me to him yesterday, and I introduced myself to him, said, "Hey, thanks, and good to meet you," and all that kind of stuff. And then, man, he delivered, a rock star kind of session. A rock star session. That dude was legit. Crazy thing is, and I'm telling you, God winks everywhere this week. I'm on the balcony. We're on the 7th floor. I'm sitting on the balcony. We're about to leave. I'm dressed, and I see this dude 7 floors away on the other side of the resort. If I could, I can't really give you the perspective, but it's a pretty good piece from where I saw this dude. And I looked out over the balcony, and I saw this cat walking. He was wearing a black jacket, black T-shirt, black jeans, but I noticed his shoes, and he had Jordans on. Watch, what I thought were Jordans. They were actually Dunks, but I thought they were Jordans, and I'm like, well, who's this cat? Man, I wish I'd have brought my Jordans. I bought Jordans. I just told Christy I bought Jordans, and she's not even mad at me. And I saw this cat walking by with Jordans, right? That I thought was Jordan, and I noticed him, right? But this was way before the sessions started. It was actually Bill Pipes. So when I got to introduce myself to him, like, I saw you, I noticed you walking, and I just happened to be outside looking, because I couldn't even see his face. He was so far away. I noticed his shoes, and I said, "I saw you walking, and I noticed your shoes." I said, "I'm a shoe guy, and I noticed your shoes." He goes, "That's cool." And so we talked a little bit. So then he delivers his session. So I'm going to share with you some of the things that he shared with me, because I think this is important, because this goes back to what I'm saying. You got to reach up. You have to reach up in your relationships. I am on a mission right now to reach up, because what I have found, and what we said yesterday, and we had some conversations yesterday morning, y'all, Christy had a conversation with, and she, the lady who introduced Brent Gove to EXP. Can you imagine you introduce Brent Gove to EXP? Imagine you found Brent Gove, you introduced Brent Gove to EXP. Brent Gove has an organization that's roughly 40,000 people. And you introduce Brent Gove he's one of your FLQAs. Can you imagine how nice your monthly revenue share check is? And you don't have to do much to earn it. It's just it just comes every single week. To finding another Brent Gove, everyone. But she is super smart. And she had another lady with her that did a presentation a couple of days ago that was super smart. And she's talking about blockchain. That's another subject. I'm going to get off on it. But suffice it to say, we had an amazing conversation. But through the conversation, another guy named Kyle Paris from Dallas, been in this business 2 weeks, joined EXP from Dallas Fort Worth. He's out there by himself. So he joined EXP with which he joined this company and joined EXP by himself, doesn't have a team. He's kind of a lone ranger. He's here by himself. He wanted to come to this. He's in Brent Gove's organization from Dallas, decided to come to this. But he's all alone. He's all by himself. He's in that situation that we always talked about was the downside to EXP. When you come over by yourself, you really don't have a community, and you really don't have any collaboration. You don't really have anybody around you to support you, which was our biggest negative to this model. He shows up. He's a numbers guy. He comes, sits down at the table with us, and this is early in the morning. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. I just walked up from the beach and from meditation and doing y'all, good gosh, I've had like 4 days on the beach in the morning, like 4 a.m, watching sunrises. It is absolutely spiritual, man. I'm telling you, it has been unreal cool. Really, really, really awesome for me personally. And I'm so blessed to be here. I'm getting back to my point. Sorry. Kyle's at the table. We meet Kyle. We introduce ourselves to Kyle. hey, you're in Dallas. We're going to be in Dallas in this month. You ought to be a part of us. We'd love to adopt you into our organization. We'd love to adopt you into our group. We'd love to have you be a part of us. We want to wrap our arms around you and bring you into our fold and make sure that you're part of a community. Make sure that you're part of a group. Make sure you're part of a family of folks who will love you and who will support you. So that way you're not alone. And he's like, man, that's awesome. That'd be great. So we're going to find some more Kyle. We're going to have some more Kyle, but I don't know why I mentioned that. Reaching out. That's a reach out in your relationship, right? There were days in my life, there were times in my not too distant past where I would have ignored Kyle Paris being sitting at that table. I would have let him listen. I would have said, hey, how you doing? Introduced myself to him, and we'd have walked away. But instead, when Sheila walked away, the lady who introduced Brent Gove, who is kind of like the first lady of EXP now because she introduced Brent Gove to the organization, she walks off because she came in when there was like 400 agents in this joint. I mean, she's been around for a minute. And we stayed and talked to Kyle for another hour, reaching out in our relationships. It's time for you to reach out in your relationships. It's time for you to not do like I would have always done in the past and just been very superficial in that conversation and just been very superficial in the, hey, how are you doing? My name's Aaron. Good to meet you. Glad you're in Dallas. Hey, we like Dallas. Hey, we're from Georgia. Hey, you like Georgia? You got to come to Georgia sometime. Hey, we got to go to breakfast. We'll see you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. And instead of doing that, we engage in a conversation. Hey, we want to get to know you. Guess what? He joined EXP 2 weeks ago. Similar stories, similar conversations, similar things. Hey, let's talk. Let's have a conversation, right? So we reach out in that relationship. It's time for you to reach out in your relationships. It's time for you to create new relationships with people. It's time for you to take a little more interest in the people around you. It's time for you to take a little more interest in what's going on around you. But through that conversation, this is exactly why I was going to that conversation. Through that conversation, have you ever, raise your hand if you've ever heard me say, people always function to the breadth and depth of their understanding of themselves. Have I ever said that? Have you ever heard me say those words? I heard those words from Steve Morris, and I think those words made more impact on my life than just about anything Steve ever said to me. And he said some amazing things to me. But he said to me, people always function to the breadth and depth of their understandings of themselves. People are always going to function to what they believe they are capable of doing. People are always going to function to what they believe is possible in the situation that they're in. And I know you're all raising your hands because you've all heard me say this over and over and over again. But the conversation that we were having with me and Christy were having, the conversation that I had with Kyle, strangely enough, because Christy and I were having the conversation on the couch, and then Sheila walks up, and then Kyle came up, and the conversation that we were having is, I don't see a limit to this. I don't see a ceiling. I don't feel a barrier. I don't feel any walls. I don't see anything that could possibly stop us. And my belief is I have the ability to create something that's this. So Anna, when you said months and months and months and months and months ago, when you said to me and Christy, you guys are going to do bigger things than you've ever imagined. I don't know if you know how much impact that had on us, or how prophetic those words were. Because we went to Brasstown Valley 2 years ago, and Brasstown was a big deal. I sat in the back of that room at Brasstown looking around, thinking, man, we've made it. I sat in the back of that room, and when they got the room finished up and they had the balloons set up and Christy had set the table up and the backdrop was done and Anna they were getting everything fixed up. The tables were set and everything was around there. And I thought, man, we made it. And from that moment, the video after Brasstown was tear-jerky. We had a meeting with some of the brokers. We did that video afterwards. And just y'all know the video, man, I'm just crying because the emotions in me were just stirring so much because that event was so special to me. Then I come to Cabo. And I see a room of about 1,800 people, 1,900 people in Cabo for 4 days, 5 days, 6 days for some, in an organization created by one man. One man who isn't any different than you, isn't any different than me. He just loves people with everything he's got. He's been in tough spots. He was new. He was almost bankrupt. Him and his wife almost got divorced. He tried to find his way from one brand to the next brand. He was at Remax. He was at Keller. He ended up here. He ended up in a new brand. But I'm sitting in a room. He calls it a love boat. He said, I'm building a love boat. That's what he says. I'm building a love boat. Last night when we were at dinner, he made it a point to come over and walk up to our table. Just give us a hug. The dude is just love. Brent Gove is a loving, caring. He's just a big old teddy bear. But I'm in Cabo, not Brasstown Valley, looking at an organization created by one person. And I'm sitting in the back of the room, looking at all these people, because I didn't sit up front. I sat in the back because I wanted to be able to see. Good morning, Kristen. Because I wanted to be able to see everything. Since Brasstown Valley, God has shaken us. What we believe to be true has been challenged. What we believe to be right has been challenged. What we thought was correct, what was comfortable to us, is no longer comfortable. And it took a shaking. It took a disruption. Because if you look at that Brasstown Valley video, hell, 8 or 10 people that were on that video that we thought were going to be with us forever, our ride or dies, are gone now. But here's what I know. And I know this sitting on Friday morning because it just hit me when I started talking about this. There's no limits on what's possible. There's no ceiling on what's possible. So when Anna Davis said to me and Christy months and months and months and months ago, there's going to be a shakeup. There's going to be some things that are going to happen that's going to be really hurtful. And there are going to be people that are going to leave. There's going to be some hurt that's going to be felt. But it's all worth it because you guys are going that direction. And those people are going that direction. And you guys are going to make a bigger impact. And you guys are going to do big things. And I don't remember exactly. I didn't write the words down, but that's the gist of it. I'm paraphrasing the heck out of that. And she was exactly right. She prophesied that to the almost exactly. And I'm in a spot now, sitting here on a Friday morning on March the 31st, 2023, and I know that an event like Cabo is what's coming for our organization. And an event like this is what's coming because I've decided not only am I reaching in and digging into those dark spots and those places where I'm not confident. I'm digging into those dark spots. Those places that don't feel good. I'm digging into those dark spots and those things that are uncomfortable. And I'm trying to get rid of them. And I'm working on it. I'm exposing them to light because in the light, there is no darkness. And mold and fungus and decay, you expose it to the light, it dies. Life is in the light. Light creates life. So I'm reaching in. I'm digging all this crap out. I'm digging out all this uncomfortable. I'm learning how to look at people in their eyes. Y'all, do you realize that for almost 10 years, 12 years as a police officer, I can look at faces. I can recognize faces. I have a gift. I can look at a face and I can see that face again a year later, 12 months, 24 months later. And I can say, I've seen that guy before. I've seen that woman before. I've seen that person before. I just have an uncanny knack with recognizing faces. But because I was so disinterested in who they were as people, because all I cared about was faces. That's all I registered was faces in my file cabinet, that I didn't associate names with their faces. And I've learned over the last 2 or 3 years that I've got to care more about myself or care more about other people than I do myself. And so I want to learn their names. I want to find who they are. I would not only want to recognize their face, but every time I see them, I want to say their name. Every time I see them, I want to say good morning by their name. And I've done that. Gabrielle, Gabby, Javier, Lou. I mean, there's so many people I can name that I've met during this week that I've made it a point every time I see them, just in passing. Hey, how you doing, Gabrielle? Hey, Gabby, how are you? I want to say their name. Hey, Drew. Hey, Bill. Hey, what's up, man? Hey, Kyle. I want to say their names. I'm reaching out now. And I'm also reaching up. I took a moment when Drew introduced me to Bill Pipes yesterday before he got up there and talked. And I know who Bill Pipes was. Like I said, I knew who he was. Saw Bill Pipes last night at dinner. He was at dinner with a bunch of the other kind of the VIPs that were there. I told Christy, I said, I'm going to go over there and say something to him. And she said, because I was going to talk to him after the session. Of course, after a session when somebody coaches, and it's kind of like, everybody wants to go talk to him at that time. And I'm like, I don't want to go up there, stand in that line and talk to him. I want to talk to the guy, but I don't want to talk to him that bad that I'm going to stand in line and talk to him. So, plus after that, he's wiped. When you get up there and speak and give the kind of emotion that he gave when he was speaking, you just get kind of wiped. And so I wanted to make sure that when I talked to him that he remembered who I was. So I saw him at dinner, and I made a point to walk over there and talk to him. Walked over there, shook his hand, gave him a hug. I said, man, I just want to appreciate what you did, all the things you said. I'm going to share some of the things that he shared with us yesterday. And I said, and we kind of talked for a little bit. So, of course, I say, hey, would you be interested? Is it cool? I don't know if this is part of your, what you can do or what you're allowed to do, but there's something that would be cool. Would you mind being on our call on a Thursday morning? Now, Bill Pipes, I'm not joking, y'all. Bill Pipes has been in the coaching realm for over 20 years. If you look at Coach Pipes on Instagram, if you look for Coach Pipes on Facebook, you look at some of the things he's done online. If you Google him, you're going to see he's not a small deal. He's kind of a big deal. He's been doing this for a minute and been pretty successful at this thing. He's going to be on our call next Thursday. He's going to share with you. Coach Bill Pipes is going to come on our call next Thursday and give you something for free. People that had to come to Cabo, sit in a room and pay for, I'm bringing it to you guys for nothing. Me and Christy are bringing that to y'all for nothing. He's going to sit with you on next Thursday. So I'm telling you, I sent a message last night. If you've got an agent that you've been talking to and you want to bring them on, let them hear some nuggets of gold. Let them hear some gold about this market. Let them hear some gold about their business. Let them hear some gold about moving forward in this next 3 quarters of 2023 and kind of where we're headed in the next few months. You need to have them on this phone call. You need to have them here next Thursday morning. You need to start reaching out to them right now and say, look, I know it's early. I know it's 6:30 in the morning Eastern. I know it's 5:30 in the morning Central. Hell, he's getting up at 4:30 in the morning because he lives in Utah. I'm up at 3 in the morning in Cabo because this means so much to me. He's going to be on the call on Thursday, reaching up in my relationships. I'm now reaching up, putting my ego down because I can't reach up if I'm carrying my ego around. I'm putting my ego down and I'm reaching up. And I'm creating new relationships with people who are doing bigger things than me, because what I have seen is there are no limits on this thing. There are 0 walls on this thing. The only thing that's holding you back is sitting in the chair you're in right now. The only thing that's holding you back is when you walk in the bathroom in just a little bit, the only person who's holding you back is that person that's looking you in the mirror. That's the only thing that's holding you back. And one thing Bill said yesterday, and I'm just going to be crass, and I'm going to say this to you, the nicest and sweetest and kindest way that I can say it to you, if I can find my notes, I made a note and I wrote it down. Let me see. Put my glasses on so I can read it. Let's see here. Sorry, y'all, I had it and it's gone. Oh, here it is. Own your shit. Own your shit. If you don't like what it is and you don't like what it looks like, then own it and change it. By owning it, it allows you, it gives you the freedom and the space and the confidence and the courage to change it. When I reach in and I dig out all the dark, deep, dank stuff that's in there that I've been carrying around for 51 years, and I start to expose those things, guess what? I put them out on the table. I put them out in the open. I put them out in the light, and it allows me to own it. And then as soon as I start going through those things, as soon as I start to beat those things down and me owning the things that are holding me back, guess what? I'm free to go do other things now. It breeds confidence. It creates new pathways in my mind. It creates new belief systems. I have new emotions. Own your shit. It's nobody's fault but your own. It's nobody's fault but mine. The decisions that I make, what I choose to believe, what I choose to do, what I choose not to do, that's nobody's responsibility but mine. It's nobody's responsibility but yours. So let me share with you, with this last 15 minutes that we've got, I want to share a couple of things with you. Change is inevitable. I've said this. The first thing I freaking wrote down that Bill Pipe said yesterday, change is inevitable. The only thing constant in this world is it's going to change. You don't have to be the first to the market, but you got to be the best in the market. You don't have to be the first, but you got to be the best. What does being the best mean? It means not only do you go to dinner, not only do you have a restaurant, but now you provide an ambiance. Now you have different lighting. Now the music's hopping. Now you got models modeling boutique clothes. You got women hanging off of freaking scarves in the sky over water. You bring out the food in this presentation and you look at all these things that they're going to do for you. You do it differently. If you're going to be the best, you got to present. You got to present the best. If you're actually going to experience the best, you got to start with understanding that you got to do things differently. If it's not excellent in your life, if it's not providing excellence in your life, I would encourage you to get rid of it. Because you are on a rocket ship. You're on a launching pad of a rocket ship right now. You're on the launching pad of a rocket ship right now. This is bigger than any of you absolutely understand. I promise you, this is bigger than any of you understand. It's bigger than probably I understand, but here's what I do know. I'm in Cabo because of one man and one man's love for his people. And I'm in Cabo because of one man and one man's care and compassion for the people that he talked to. And I'm in Cabo right now because one man decided that what he had to give and the love he had to offer was bigger than any negative thing you could say about him. It was bigger than any possible bad thing you could say, and that he was going to share love with everybody he could share love with. And now I'm in Cabo with 1,000 other people having the absolute time of my life with my wife, being exposed to people like Bill Pipes, being exposed to people like Brent Gove, being exposed to the people that I'm being exposed to now. That my walls are being extended. I don't even see walls anymore. I don't see ceilings anymore. It's unbelievable. The timing of all this is unbelievable. So let me keep going. You need to get the messaging straight. You need to put this on video over and over and over again. Every single month, you need to be doing a market statistic video. Every single month, I don't care. You need to set a time on your calendar where you're going to shoot a video and you're going to talk about the market stats in a niche, in a neighborhood, in a farm that you work. Yes, the market has shifted. The bottom of the market was in November. But let me share with you a little bit of advice. You have got to be the information giver. Too many of our buyers, too many of our sellers, too many of the public are listening to the news. They're watching CNBC. They're watching MSNBC. They're watching all this bad stuff on the news. They're thinking if the sky is falling. They're thinking that we're all about to be back riding covered wagons and horses and fighting each other for food, that Hunger Games are right around the corner, and that we're all going to die. Nothing could be further from the truth. Y'all, this is a regular real estate market. This is a regular real estate market. What happened over the last 24 months is the abnormality. What happened over the last 24 months is the not normal real estate market. We are exactly where we're supposed to be in a normal real estate market. Listen to what I'm telling you. November was the bottom of the market, which means if that's the bottom and this ain't November, that it's coming back up. Get that messaging out. You need to have that messaging out every single week, at least every single week. You need to be speaking to the market. We have a KCM, Keeping Current Matters membership. If you need information from Keeping Current Matters, it is Bill Pipe said, that is the best source of information on the planet. Christy and I have paid for Keeping Current Matters for over 2 years. You don't have to figure anything out. You don't have to know anything new. You don't have to do any research. Just repeat what Keeping Current Matters. Instead of just doing it the lazy way and resharing the post, do a video. Hey, it's Aaron Dwyer with The Collective, DRG The Collective. Want to come to you guys today and let you know about the market. Here's some statistics, blah, 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 blah. Okay? He talked about 3 things. He talked about standards, skill. I may have missed the last one. Oh, standards, skill. Oh, yep, I missed it. Oh, well. Here's your standard. You're in sales, okay? And you work in a business, you work in an industry where there are a lot of, that's a nice way to say this. There are a lot of idiots in this industry. And there are a lot of people in this industry who give our industry a bad name. Why? And that's why statistically we're always just above used car salesmen in our level, the way the buying public trusts us. So on that trust meter, we're always right above used car salesmen. I never, ever, ever want to be associated with an organization or a group of realtors or a group of real estate agents who don't garner trust from people. Because one of my core beliefs is excellence. And distrust does not operate in a truck of not excellent, right? So here's some standards. Let me give you a standard. You've got to prospect. You have to prospect. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The average income in 2022 for a real estate agent in the United States was a little over $44,000. $21 an hour. That's the average income for a real estate agent in the United States in 2022. And one of the best years in the real estate business we've ever had, the average income was still $44,000 and some change. $21 an hour. Raise your hand if you want to make $44,000 a year. And I didn't raise my hand. That was that's almost poverty level. That's almost poverty level. You have to prospect, y'all. So he had 3. He had level 1 prospecting, level 2 prospecting, and level 3 prospecting. Bill Pipe said level 1, and I promise you're gonna hear about this next Thursday. Level 1 prospecting is survival mode. If you want to get into survival mode lets you make just a little bit more than you're making now. Survival mode might make you $100,000 depending on the types of houses that you go after, the type of neighborhood that you want to work in. Survival mode may make you $100,000 a year. If you prospect an hour a week, just 1 hour a week, you're going to be in survival mode. Maybe 9 deals, maybe 10 deals a year. If you only prospect 1 hour a week. Prospect 2 hours a week for 220 days a year. Now you can be in growth mode. Now you can start to actually make some income. Now you might be able to get this thing over 7 figures. But you've got to every single day 220 days a year, prospect for 2 hours a day. Prospecting means you're calling people you don't know. Prospecting means you're reaching out to people you don't know. Prospecting means you're calling expired. You're calling for sale by owners. You're calling people you don't know and trying to drum up business. You're walking in neighborhoods, knocking on doors. But I'm telling you, knocking on doors is not as efficient. You're messaging people on Facebook. You're messaging people on Instagram. You're sliding to DMs. You're doing whatever. But you got to prospect 2 hours a week for 220 days a year. You prospect for 6 hours a day. You prospect for 6 hours a day, 220 days a year, and you will have a business that where you will not be able to handle all the business you get. If you'll commit to prospecting 6 hours a day, it's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. But I promise you right now, for some of you new agents who are wondering where your first deal is going to come from, some of you new agents who are trying to figure out when that first deal is going to hit, I will tell you what's going to hit. It's going to hit when you start busting your butt and you start deciding that you're going to prospect your face off and you're going to start calling people you don't know and you're going to get out of your comfort zone and stop waiting for it to be handed to you. That's when it's going to start to take off. Some of you that your businesses are sucking right now because you're not out, you don't have closings and you don't have things happening. That's because you've not been prospecting. It's because you've not been reaching out to people. It's because you've not been generating new business. And what you're experiencing on March 31st is a result of what you did on January 1st. What you're experiencing then in the month of March is what you didn't do or what you did do in the month of January. And that's the way this business works. It ain't a big deal till it's a big deal. And those little things that you put off, those little things you didn't do, those little things that you weren't paying attention to, those days that you decided you didn't want to prospect, those days that you decided you didn't want to reach out to somebody or you didn't want to go do this or you didn't want to send them a message or you didn't want to follow up with that client. Now you're in the results of that. So leave you this on a Friday, then I'm going to read one little passage. I'm going to let you guys go. And I'm positive Bill's will talk about this on Thursday. But I'm going to give you this thing, this simple thing, and you need to write this down. And if you're watching this, you need to write this down. If you're watching this later, you need to write this down. Caitlin, we got you. We're going to start. I promise you. And when we get back, I promise, we're going to make that happen. Okay. We are about to blow y'all up. If you're available, you've got to make yourself available. How about that? But I promise you, if you will make yourself available, I'm about to bring you some content. Christy's about to bring you some content. We're about to blow this coaching thing out of the water. What we told you was you're going to get more time with us. And that is true. We're about to take you guys to a different level, but you've got to be willing. You've got to do the work. Hearing the words ain't enough. Hearing the words isn't enough. So let me give you this. Here's your action plan. Here's your action plan for Friday, and I want you to start working this on Saturday. It's a 3x5 daily plan. So you have 3 things to do, okay? And they're all in 5s. And you're going to do this every single day. Every single day. 3 things. You're going to call 5 people in your sphere of influence. And your sphere of influence are people that you know. If I found them on the street and I said, hey, I need a real estate agent, they would mention your name. You need to get 5. You need to call 5 of your sphere of influence and check in with them. You need to call 5 people you don't know. I don't care how you find them. I don't care if you go to the white pages. I don't care if you just go through a phone book. I don't care if you get on Facebook and find people that comment on your stuff or like your stuff. I don't care how you do it. You need to call 5 people you don't know every single day. For you new agents, this next one's not going to apply. But for those of you who have past clients, 82% of the buying public said they would use their real estate agent again. Yet only 18% of those people ever use their real estate agent more than once. Let me repeat that in case you didn't hear it, because I know it's early in the morning. 82% of real estate buyers said they would use their agent again. Yet only 18% actually do. So the next thing on your 3x5 is to call 5 past clients every single day. How are you doing? How are the kids? How's the house? Do you know how much your house is worth in this market? When did you guys buy again? Oh, yeah. Have a conversation with your past clients. For you new agents that don't have past clients, I want you to make number 2, 10. So instead of calling 5 past clients, you're going to call either 10 people you don't know, or after you get through your sphere of influence, go back to your past business relationships, where you worked before, the people that knew you from your past company, the people that knew you from your past life, from your past job. If you like those people, reach out to them, give them a call. But you're going to call 15 people every single day, 5 days a week, 220 days a year. At least, at minimum. That is a little bitty framework you can use, and it's super simple. The question is, will you do it? Because you're sitting right now on the platform, the launching pad of a rocket ship. But it's your rocket ship, not my rocket ship, because my rocket ship's going to lift off with you or without you. And the people that have left us, I feel so, I'm torn, right? I don't know whether to feel bad. Kaylin got it. Make sure this is right. I'm going to put it up here. Call 5 people in your sphere of influence. Number 2, call 5 people you don't know. New agents, double it to 10. If you don't have past client, here goes your past clients. And then call 5 every single day to check in. 15 calls a day, 5 days a week, 220 days a year. You are in the prospecting business. You're in the prospecting business. People want to buy houses. You don't have to sell people things they want to buy. You're in the prospecting business. You're in the marketing business. You're in the being real business. You're in the excellence business. You're in the experience business, right? All right, let me read you this, and I'm gonna let you guys go because we're at the end of our time. Michelle Tilson, thank you for the Relentless. I just started reading it the other day. This is my next book I'm on. Relentless is by Tim Grover. Fantastic book. Let me read you this. I think this is super important. And he's talking about Michael Jordan at the end of this. Tim Grover was Michael Jordan's personal trainer for 15 years. And he taught Michael Jordan how to train, how to be different, how to get his body ready to go into battle. So I'm going to read 2 passages to you. Michael wasn't the best because he could fly through the air and make impossible shots. He was the best because he was relentless about winning. Relentless in his belief that there's no such thing as good enough. No matter how many times he won, no matter how great he became, he always wanted more. He was always willing to do whatever it took and then some to go get it. Relentless is about never being satisfied, always driving to be the best and then getting even better. It's about finding what gets you to the next level, even when the level doesn't yet exist. It's about facing your fears, getting rid of the poisons that guarantee you'll fail. It's about garnering respect, being respected and feared for your mental strength and toughness, not just your physical ability. Whatever's in your glass right now, empty it. Let's refill it from scratch. Forget what you've ever thought, what you believe, what opinions you have, and let's start over. You're on a rocket ship. You're on a launching pad to a rocket ship. You're on a launching pad of a rocket ship right now. There are absolutely zero limits and zero borders on what you can achieve. There are zero limits and zero borders on the relationships that you can create. It starts with you reaching in, pulling out that stuff that holds you back, pulling all those things out that keep you stuck, pulling all those things out that'll keep you in that same hamster wheel, that same Groundhog Day of doing it over and over and over again and having the same crap you've always had. It's gonna make you reach out to other people, create new relationships, put yourself in situations that make you uncomfortable. Because guess what? once you get uncomfortable having conversations with strangers, they're not always uncomfortable. They start to get really fun because then you start learning things about people that you really, really dig. And then you reach up. And you go reach up to people like Brent Gove. You reach up to people like Bill Pipes. You reach up to people who are doing bigger, better things than you. Ken Jocelyn. You go reach up to bigger and better things. People that are doing it bigger and better than you. And then one day you wake up in Cabo and it's not Brent Gove's event. It's your event. Y'all, the sky's the limit. This thing is absolutely limitless. We just need you to buy in. I need you to buy into who you are. Buy into who you were created to be. Buy into your dreams, your desires, your goals. Buy in to the strength that you have. That's what I need you to do. Your family needs you. You need you. Your family needs you. The world needs you. Let's go do this thing. Y'all have a great Friday. A magnificent Friday. I'm about to go have one of the best Fridays of my entire life. And I hope you do too. And then I hope your Saturday is the best Saturday you've ever had. And the Sunday's the next Sunday you've ever had. Best Sunday you've ever had. And then I want you to do them even better on the next weekend. I love y'all. You want to say anything while you're up? Did you have a message you want me to give?
You're ready to go.
Yeah.
It would take me a minute.
My wife, babe, Chrissy just woke up. Do you want to do it? If y'all, will y'all give us, I don't know how long she's going to talk. I don't know how much y'all got left in you. But she's got her notepad. She has her notepad and her glasses, so she's fired up.
they might be ready to dip out.
If y'all are ready to dip, we'll dip. If not, okay, she's coming. I love y'all.
Y'all get out.
She'll finish.
I'm just gonna jump in here for a second. Hopefully there's still some people on here. But sorry, y'all. I know but I'm in the other room listening to him and listening to everything that's being said. And good morning, Cynthia. So I'm gonna add on to what he was just saying, because Bill Pipes, who talked yesterday, unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Talk about an energy. Talk about just an energy. And there's been a couple of different messages that we're hearing. Same consistent message, different presentations, different ways it's presented. But he was talking a while ago about the skills, the standards, and the strategies. Okay. And the Bill said you've got three things that you've got to literally build your business around and build your prospecting around. And I was laying in the bed listening to him talk, and I was like, they probably think he's drunk, because he's saying 1 hour a week, and then he's saying 6 hours a day, and then he's saying whenever you're talking about the 1 hour for the survivors and the 2 hours a week for the But the guy was saying a day, 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, or 3 hours a day is where you get your breakthrough. Okay. And he talks about the skills, the standards, and the strategies. And he showed like a thing where the three circles where they all overlap, and then you've got the center right there. And then the big circle around that is success. If you build your skills, your standards, and your strategies. And the standards is something that I want to kind of talk about for a minute, because I want you guys to get standards. I want you guys to get so clear on your standards. And we've had this conversation with a few people that I had a conversation yesterday with somebody. Don't let your standards are not just for yourself. Okay. And it says here that the people who move the world have greater standards for themselves than anybody else has for them. Your standards have to be so high for yourself that you will not accept less, that you will not accept less in your schedule. You will not accept less from your clients. You will not accept less from yourself. Standards are so important and we want you guys to start establishing the standards. The days of just taking the business because it's business, no, because you're going to spend time on that business that's not at the standard of what you have set and what you have determined is going to be your standard for your business. And then that business is not going to become what it should be. And this is what he said. Go out there and you need to be prospecting motivation. You need to be prospecting for motivated people. You don't just be prospecting just to be finding numbers. Prospect for motivated people. Prospect for people who need you. Prospect for people who you can add value to their situation. Okay? Because you can add value to anybody's situation that is motivated and is looking for the value that you bring. So do not ever discount yourself and what you bring to the table by trying to give it to somebody who doesn't want it, by trying to offer it to somebody who doesn't need it, because then you're going to feel you're literally devaluing yourself by doing that. Because if someone doesn't see your value, they're not going to appreciate it. And you're giving that value away to someone when you could be saving that value and giving it to someone else. Because there are people out there who need your value. There are buyers, there are sellers, and there are other agents who need what you have to offer. Okay. So, I mean, that is so important. And this is a skills-based market. Okay. I'm just reading you notes that I wrote. These are just nuggets that were just dropped yesterday. Clarity. I'm talking about getting clear on your standards. I'm talking about getting clear on your strategies, and get clear on your skills. You need to understand what skills you bring to the table, and you need to really focus on honing in those skills. And he talked yesterday in the breakout, Bill talked about sometimes people, you don't necessarily need to get more skills. There's a lot of people who need to get more skills, okay? Because you don't have enough skills yet to really be able to just do it. He talked about Michael Jordan. He talks about Tiger Woods. He talks about people, who was the guy you were just, that did the book you were just reading? Tim Grover. He talks about, oh yeah, it's right here in front of me. I guess I just look down. The people that go from good to great to unstoppable. The unstoppable ones that are so sure in their skills. And even when it's not just a matter of getting the skill, it's a matter of perfecting the skill. It is a matter of making that skill feel so natural that it's like you're breathing. That is why Tiger Woods does what he does. That is why Michael Jordan was as good as he is. Okay. Or as good as he was. He probably could still whoop 90% of people in the NBA even now. Okay. But it's because the skills were sharpened so much that it was like breathing. They never have to think about those skills because they practice it and they sharpen those skills so much. Know what skills you're good at, delegate the rest. Don't try to, and I say this all the time, the 80, 10, 85, 10, 5. 85% of your time needs to be spent in your areas of strength, in your areas of skill. 10% needs to be spent developing or working on skills that you're already getting okay at. And 5% needs to be spent in the areas that you just suck at. Just spend 5% getting a little bit comfortable, but only 5% of your time. Don't take away from the time of sharpening the skills that you already know you're really good at. So skill standard strategies. The people who move the world have greater standards on themselves than anyone else. Hold tight to your standards. If you will hold tight to your standards, you will absolutely change the way you feel about what you do every single day, because you are only allowing people in who want you. Quit trying to be a person for people who don't want you. Quit trying to convince people that they need this or they need that or they need you, or quit trying to convince them. If you have to try to, Aaron and I are experiencing this right now. If we're having to sell somebody on something, it's not for them. They're not for us. And that's fine. You don't have to try to convince someone of the value that you're bringing. If they're at congruency, what did he say yesterday about the congruency? When you're not in congruence, you literally are creating conflict. You are creating friction if you're not in total congruence with what you're doing. And when you are creating, so he talks about the congruency. We must have congruency. If we are not, and congruency means that we're prepared and we walk in that preparation and we're in alignment with it. So when you don't have that congruency, when you're not prepared for what you're doing, you're going to be creating friction that's not going to get you where you need to go in the best manner possible. You've got to have that congruence. You've got to have your skills, your strategies. What was the other one? And your standards. They've all got to be congruent. You've got to be aligned with all of that. Okay. So I had a note up a while ago that I was really wanting to jump up and talk about whenever I was sitting there listening to him. But we want you to something was said yesterday that I think is huge, 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 huge. He mentioned a war room. He mentioned having a room. And for those of you that have watched, I guess it's called War Room, maybe, is the movie's called War Room. It's a prayer room. It's a room where you go in, and that is your war room. When we are fighting for our family, when we're fighting for against all the things that are trying to stop what we're doing, when that is the war room. But he referred to the war room a little differently. He referred to the war room as the place that you go in, that you've got things that inspire you. You've got your vision board. You've got your pictures all over the wall. And sometimes it's not even like professionally done. It's not like you have these things framed. You've got sticky notes that you've written and you've popped up on the wall. You got thumbtacks stuck in the wall. But it's a room that you walk into that it inspires you. It inspires you to get up and keep doing everything you do. This nutty guy got up on stage yesterday. I mean to tell you, he is like, he's almost, for those of you that know who Ratroot is in Milledgeville, he's almost like, I'm serious, the way he's like, I have a license, but I have no clue how to sell real estate. And Brent asked me if I should start selling real estate. And Brent's like, no, don't start selling real estate. Just get out there and talk to people. Just get out there and just love people. Just get out there and share with people. Just get out there and be somebody who just inspires people. And they're more inspired by you not trying to get, he's like, it's great because I don't know how to sell real estate. So nobody on my team ever calls me and asks me anything about real estate because they're afraid of the answer I'll give them. So he's like, it's great. It's like total freedom. So, but he talks about, that war room, that giving us the room. But the bigger thing is, he says this model is, and it wasn't the crazy guy that said this, because it was a really guy that's totally put together and came to EXP from a place that just like his people were like, you're crazy. You're in this wonderful position with this huge company of all the biggest real estate companies in the world. And now you're going to go to this startup. What are you thinking? And he said, this is the model that's made for humanity. And I'm telling you guys, that was powerful. Was that not a powerful statement that was made? Because everything that we've ever been trying to build, and everything that we've ever been trying to grow, and everything that we've ever been trying to walk out and to not just speak, but to truly walk out. We are literally in the midst of people who do that every single day, every single conversation, the humility, the love for people, the desire to just help people, that they may not ever get anything back from that help they're giving out, but it's what they do in every single action. And I think Brent made the comment that your actions speak so loud that I can't hear the words you're saying. Make your actions speak so loud that people don't care about the words you're saying, because your actions are all that they need to see. And that's good. That goes both ways. So you've got to walk it out. But the actions that we're seeing here, the walking it out that we're seeing just from everybody just wanting to sit and share. And I don't see ego. I heard ego talking in the back of the room yesterday, like two different people in the back of the room when these speakers are up here just dropping nuggets of gold. And there's somebody in the back of the room that just thinks that the conversation they're having is so much more important than the person who has proven and shown their value, that they are on the stage at this event, pouring into 3,000 people sitting in the room. And that's about the only ego I've seen here this week, to be completely honest. And I kept trying to look and give him the eye, but they didn't get it. I kept trying to give them the stink eye, but they were so busy in their conversation sometimes with themselves. I mean, there was one chick that was literally conducting a phone call at the back of the room, trying to talk over the speaker. Like, I can't hear you because this dude up on the stage is talking so loud that I can't even hear what you're saying. So instead of like walking out the door, that she was standing right beside. But that's the only ego I've even seen here this week. And I'm sure there's more, but it's not an area of people that are like, I'm trying to hold this, I'm better, I'm so great. It's the people that are just being real. It's the people that are just out there telling it like it is, fleshing it out. he told this story about, and I want to watch this movie, and then I'm going to wrap up on this because I do want to let you guys go. But he told this movie about, I think it's called The Founder. It was the movie about Ray Kroc and Roy Kroc. Ray Kroc, the guy who was literally the founder of McDonald's. He wasn't the founder. He wasn't the one that started the hamburger company, but he was the one that started McDonald's. And this movie that talks about the consistency and the standards. And he said the movie is just incredible. But all these ideas and all these concepts that, and Lynn, you said that was your favorite movie, War Room. Well, one of my favorite, and I love that movie too, but one of my favorite movies was Pretty Woman. And he also did a quote from Pretty Woman. Y'all remember on Pretty Woman, the guy that said, "What's your dream?" I think he was that crackhead standing on the side of the corner on the road was in the who was saying it. What's your dream? Figure out what your dream is. Get clear on your dream. Get clear on that vision. Get clear on your skills, your strategies, and your standards. Sorry. So and like Aaron said, make this the best Friday that you've ever had. Make tomorrow the best Saturday, and just get out there and do it. We love y'all. We cannot wait to get back and bring this to y'all, and cannot wait even more to get you. Cynthia, the movie was War Room. And the other one was the guy that said, "What's your dream?" That was Pretty Woman I was referencing. They're two completely different movies, two completely different lines. Great story on both, two completely different lines. But just get out there and do it today, y'all. We love y'all. I cannot wait to get y'all in these rooms. I cannot wait to get you people in. Anna Davis in one of these rooms, y'all will have to have a fire extinguisher to blow that girl down some. When she gets in these rooms, she's going to come out blazing on fire. I'm telling you, I cannot wait to see her coming out of one of these rooms. Just one session, just day one, I was like that. So we love y'all. Go out there and be good, be great, and be you. Bye.